Opposition leader Peter Dutton is accusing Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of treating voters like mugs, warning his refusal to be more specific on the voice will doom it to failure. Joining me live is Zali Steggall, Independent MP for Warringah. Zali, thanks for joining us. Peter Dutton wants more detail on the Indigenous voice to Parliament. Do you agree with Peter Dutton?
No, I don't. I think we need to remember what the referendum seeks to do. It seeks to ask a question in principle of whether we should have Indigenous recognition in our Constitution and that voice to Parliament. Remembering that our Constitution is a document of principles. It doesn't actually have a lot of detail. The detail is worked out by Parliament and by governments and then by case law and precedent through the courts as different things get tested. So I am satisfied that it's a question of principle that we need to put to the Australian people in the referendum.
And Zali, you have reintroduced your Stop the Lies bill to Parliament and are urging the government to support this bill, including before the Voice campaign kicks off.
Absolutely. I think we know that misinformation and disinformation erodes trust in election outcomes and referendums. So I think it's really important that we have a respectful but a fact-based debate around the voice. I think it will be very important to have, for example, forums within communities so people can really discuss their opinions, but advertising should be legislated, that it cannot be misleading or deceptive. We accept that that's necessary in business and commerce to protect consumers. I think we should protect voters in the same way.
Can you bring us up to speed and remind us, Zali, of the political advertising and the laws that are currently in place?
Well, currently, on a federal level, there is very little laws around political advertising. It's simply that you can't mislead a voter in how to fill out their ballot paper. There is nothing around misinformation and disinformation. Now, when it comes to consumer laws, we protect consumers around business, around sales of goods and sales of services, that you can't mislead somebody. So it's really applying that same principle that you can't make a statement of fact in advertising that is misleading or deceptive. Now, for people who worry about this being, against freedom of speech, this is not to say people can't express opinions, but you can't express a statement of fact, especially if you're sort of attributing it to someone else, unless if it's misleading and deceptive.